Due to the fact that when you guys are watching this, it's actually Christmas, I figured since teams aren't scrimming, there's nobody playing, everybody's kind of home for break, that we would take a step back, and I wanted to focus map by map on really how to play each map. So I know when things happen during scrims, I bring up a mini map and I try to explain it, but I wanted to do a series that just goes hardpoint by hardpoint, showing you where teams spawn, how you want to rotate, where you want to be located, where you want to go, and each of the maps in Black Ops Cold War. And today, we're going to start with Raid Hardpoint. So let me bring up this mini map here, and really, let's just draw everything out in front of us. So first of all, you have two spawns. You have blue spawn over here on the left, and you have, we'll say this blue and yellow because why not? Those are two colors that are right here in front of me. So you have blue and yellow. And the first hard point is P1 down towards the bottom of the map. So we're going to be coming down here fighting towards P1. So obviously, if you're the yellow squad, you don't have spawns to begin with here. So what I mean by that is P2, you can tell right here, P2 is on the left-hand side of the map. So really, the most important thing for this yellow squad is, sure, you want to go over here and you want to get inside of ring and you want to contest as much as you can. There's a couple ways you can do that. You can run through ramp. You can run through this office building right here to get over towards P1. But you also want to start thinking about flipping for P2. Now, there's a couple ways that you can do that. So we'll talk about flipping in a second, but if you want to send somebody up towards mid and kind of watch the push over here towards P2 and P5, you can do that also. If you're the blue team, let's focus blue for a second. This is super important because of your SMGs. You want to send your SMGs over towards P1, over towards ring. You can just run right through here. The problem is that once you get in this area right here, you are super exposed and you can be killed from the other squad. So a lot of times I like to just run outside over here by white van, then work my way up towards P1, because as you take this bottom route, you're really just kind of hidden from all the enemy lines of sight there. So I like to run towards the bottom, but that's neither here nor there. So you want to take your SMGs, you want to run towards the bottom side of the map, try to get in towards P1. You could take an AR and go up top laundry, and then once you're up here, you can really get really nice lines of sight on either of these pushes, the left side or the right side of P1. So you could take your main AR up top, or your flex could go there, and you do want to have somebody inside of P2, inside of kitchen, really bouncing between this line of sight mid or going money. So this room up here on the top of P2 is called money, and watching the push here. So the last thing that you want, and this isn't the main way that you flip for P2, but the last thing that you want is to have somebody from yellow push over here by pool, go P4, get all the way behind you jungle, and flip you out this way. If this happens, then that would take this blue squad and spawn them over here towards pool. It's not likely that that would happen, but if you're that main AR for blue and you're set up in here, you just want to watch the push through P5 and the push through pool. So that's kind of the break there. Now let's talk about if we're advancing from there. So let's say we're still inside of P1 and we're the yellow squad. So we're yellow squad here. We've pushed up towards ramp. We're inside of P1. The way that you want to flip for P2 is you actually want to try, once you get inside of P1, to get top laundry or to push either of these routes on laundry, and you want to get control of this jungle area of the map over here. If you can get set up here, then that's going to take the blue squad that was spawning here, and if you're yellow and you're set up here, so more towards laundry, that's going to take the blue squad and spawn them P4. If you get all the way behind over here inside of jungle, that's going to take the blue squad and that's going to start spawning them out towards pool. So what you want to do is, as we were talking, you want to push all the way through, get behind over towards jungle. If you can get somebody set up here and somebody on this head glitch here, and eventually push in towards P2, that's going to take this blue squad that was spawning here, put them out towards pool, and now all you have to do is just watch the push through mid, watch the push over here, the jump up through money, which if you're the yellow team and you get established back here, then you send somebody over towards this half wall here, and you can watch these lines of sight from both inside P2, you can run inside money to watch this line of sight, or you could be at this half wall looking down over pool and watch the line of sight from there. So that's what you want to do. Whereas if you're on rotation from P1 to P2 and you're the blue squad, your setup is the same. If you can get inside of P1, great, but you really just want to hold this area of the map here. You want to make sure that you're getting kills there, because essentially that's going to take this yellow squad. It's just going to continue to spawn them out over towards P3. They have to push across mid map, or they have to hit the long flank and go over towards pool. So you really just want to stop. If yellow is inside of P1, you just want to stop the push over here towards laundry. And if you can do that, you can hold down for P2. Now, as we're about to rotate, P3 is obviously, so we're inside of P2 right now. If we'll say that the blue team has control of these jungle spawns, they're inside of P2. If you're the yellow squad that was spawning out, now obviously you just want to work your way backwards and get set up inside of P3. Now this one's a little bit harder to defend, because let's get rid of this. Let's say we're inside of P3 now. If we're inside of P3, you really have 3 separate areas to watch, and they can come from any direction. So you want to make sure that you have somebody inside of P3. Normally, you don't want to be watching this line of sight from inside of P3. You're too exposed from both the top and the bottom side of the map. So in this one, normally this middle lane would be watched by somebody in zigzag up here, wherever you want to get posted up. But normally there's somebody up here watching the push through the middle of the map. Now, the problem with this is that you have to have somebody watching weights, which this is kind of a workout room here. This is called weights. So if you want to be set up on blue van, or if you want to be pushed up on this car, you have to be watching the push from the bottom side of the map. And you also have to have somebody watching the push through pool. So this one's a little bit more difficult, because you really can be pushed out from any of these routes here. So if you're the blue squad that had control of P2, you can hit mid, you can come through P1, you can hit ramp, or you can go pool and you can hit the bottom side of the map. Whichever way you want to go, it's entirely up to you. It really just works the same from each side. So let's say you're this blue squad and you're hitting over towards pool. This isn't the best way to go. The best way to go is to really just hit mid zigzag, hit over here towards office, and get through weights. That's normally the way that people will go. And if you do this, that's going to take the yellow squad. It's going to spawn them over here towards the top of this apartment building on the top side of the map. Whereas it's the same thing from the other way. So if you're the blue squad, you hit over towards pool and you're able to get behind, that's just going to take the yellow squad. It's going to spawn them over here towards ramp. So it works the same way either side, which is why a lot of squads elect to just, first of all, you can get to zigzag pretty easily. You can run through this way. But once you get in this building, really all you have to do, there's a doorway here, there's a doorway here. So you just pop through into weights. Now, normally once you get there, there's going to be somebody like back on blue van or inside of weights hiding in a corner watching this push. But the goal here is to just get there. And if you're the blue squad and you can get 1 or 2 kills inside this weights room, that's going to take the yellow squad. It's going to start to spawn them out. And then once you get back behind inside of P3, now you can watch the push from the top hand side of the map. And that's how you can push out P3. So P3, it's better to push from the bottom, take your enemies, spawn them towards the top, and then watch the push from there. Let's say yellow was able to hold on to P3. Now we're rotating towards P4. Now, this is one where the best spawn for P4, again, is up here towards jungle. So if you're the yellow squad, I'll tell you right now, if you just hit top over here by pool and you try to run through the front door, you have a choke point right here that you can get killed from any angle inside of P4, but it's tough to get inside because you'll have somebody up here towards half wall looking down underneath. You could have somebody in Tiki. Once you're inside of P4, you could have somebody at any one of these head glitches that's inside of P4. It is extremely tough to hit P4 from the pool side of the map. So the way that you counter this instead is if you're leaving P3, you want to leave pretty early. You want to leave with like 35 or 30 seconds left. And you just want to hit over here towards ramp. You want to get through P1. Normally, you can get to this area of the map on rotations without really being seen. So you hit P1, you get up here towards top laundry, and now this is the area where once you get around here, you're probably going to see some sort of gun battle in this area of the map from either of these positions. But the goal here is to try to get to top laundry, win a gun battle or two from either of these locations, and then get pushed out over towards jungle. If you're able to get towards jungle, now you can overtake these spawns and your teammates can come from behind you. That's going to take this blue squad. It's going to spawn them towards pool. And then you're just doing the exact opposite, right? You're trying to get somebody inside of P4, trying to get somebody watching the push through P2, and trying to get somebody towards this half wall here shooting down as the enemies try to get inside of P4. So that's really the rotation. If you're inside of P4, you want to be spawning. So we're inside of P4. You want to be having these top jungle spawns. It's easier to get in. It's easier to defend the cross. And it's easier to really just watch this choke point mid door right here. Now, after that, once you move towards P5, P5 is right in the middle of the map. So when it comes to P5, it's a little bit easier if you're spawning like kind of over towards P1, because if you get this spawn, so let's say blue team spawning over here towards P1, once you get inside, then now if you're the team, let's say yellow's still spawning over here, they have to run through this choke point, or they could hit bottom map and they have to come up these stairs. Really, I mean, it's really played the same from either side. If you're the blue squad and you're inside of P5, you can just watch the push from stairs, watch the push through P2, and you can watch this from, there are so many angles to watch this from, whether you're up on the catwalk or you're down in the pit. There are a ton of head glitches here you can watch either of those pushes from. So if you want to be towards P1, that's fine. If you're coming from the opposite way, it works the same way, right? If you push through P2 and you get inside of P5, now all you have to do is watch this choke point and watch that choke point. So P5 is one of those hills that's obviously right in the middle of the hard point. And from here, I just like to be down towards the bottom part of the map more. If you're getting this spawn and you're able to get control of P5, now you're going to have control of P1. And if you've already got map positioning for P1, then you can start to work your way up towards laundry to try to, again, get to back jungle so that you can flip for P2. So I like approaching P5 from the ring part of the map in P1, because it's easy to watch these flanks right here. And once you're inside of P5, it's easy to be inside of P1. You can kind of chain that time inside of P5 and inside of P1. Then you can worry about your rotations back towards P2. So I know that this was a long explanation, but we really only get to see pieces and parts of the map. So I figured I would run through each of the hard points, talk through them. Hopefully this is able to help you guys out a little bit. Let me know in the comments below what map you want to see next, whether it's Moscow or Garrison or whatever. We'll do the same thing. Thank you guys for watching. I super appreciate it. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave a like as it helps out the channel. And with that, thank you guys so much. We'll see you in tomorrow's upload.